Hi, Kristen Martin here again, pediatric occupational therapist, and I am presently staying home with my 5 children while we are all told to stay at home during this time. So I want to continue with giving you 5 ways to play with common household items, and the item that we'll be using today is one that I've been excited to talk about because I know that we're probably all accumulating them. So we're going to talk about ways to play with toilet paper rolls and paper towel rolls. So I'm talking about those cardboard tubes that are left over once the roll of toilet paper or paper towels is gone. I know that my family has been going through these on the daily, so I've been accumulating a lot of them, and so we're just going to talk about some ways to play with them. Now, the first way you can play is just very open-ended. I'm not even counting this as one of my 5 ways because you could just give your children the challenge of coming up with a really fun or creative item made out of these things. So you can give them a theme, maybe who can make the coolest animal or the coolest spring item out of these things, and they can go to it. And some kids love that open-endedness. But I'm going to give you 5 other ways to play with these that are a little more directive, if that's the kind of play that your child needs. So the first official way of playing with these cardboard tubes is to turn them into a tunnel. So I like to use these just as a tunnel for small toys, maybe marbles or cotton balls or pom-poms or any small toy that your child is interested in. So you can just give them that tube and show them how to push things down and just let them have at it. You can also tape the tube to the inside of a container. So I just pulled out like a plastic storage container that we happen to have. You can tape this to the inside of that and then give your child a bunch of objects to put down the tube, and they can make it land into that big container. You can also have a bowl if you want them to just have a bowl at the bottom, pushing the objects through. You can make this more complex by giving your children several of these and letting them build their own series of tunnels by taping them with painter's tape or something that won't damage walls to the wall. And then they can put, a marble or anything down it. If your child happens to be a pickier eater, maybe you can give them some little food items that they don't necessarily like to eat, but it's a great way to make friends with that food by pushing it down the tunnel. So you can do this with frozen vegetables, let's say, or small fruits, vegetables, even little snacks like different types of crackers can fit through this. That makes a fun game to play either at the end of a meal, or if you just give them a handful of that, that's just a fun activity to do in the kitchen while you're cooking, and it's a great way for them to experience the food without the pressure of having to eat it. So the second way that we can play with these leftover cardboard tubes is to use them as a stamp for painting. So you can use a smaller tube or a larger tube. I like to cut them down for younger kids, but they can just dip it in paint and then make circles all over the paper. If you want to bend it, you can bend these tubes into other shapes. So you can turn it into, let's say, a heart or a square or other shapes that you want to talk about. If you don't have any paint in the house, you can use any kind of a food puree or ketchup or barbecue sauce would show up really well on more of a process art type of thing. It probably wouldn't dry well, but it's just fun to play in. So you can use these as a stamp. That was our second way. Our third way to play with these empty cardboard tubes is to stand them up and use one of my favorite little toys during this season, just plastic Easter eggs, if you happen to have some at your house. You don't have to do this with the Easter eggs, but it is a fun activity to kind of stand them up on the floor and then have your child balance the Easter egg on top. You can have them walk around the room like this, or you can just stand them up along the floor, and then the best part, have your child knock them over. You can also make a bowling game with or without the Easter eggs by standing up multiple cardboard tubes on the floor and then giving your child a ball or maybe a large canned good that they can roll. A heavy one is great for some kind of deep pressure work that some kids really like, and have them roll and knock over the tubes. So you can make a bowling game out of this as well. The fourth way that you can play with these cardboard tubes is to use them more like large beads. So you can cut them up into small pieces, like I did here. Just cut them up into pieces that were just a couple of inches long, and then you can use them as beads. So for younger kids, you can have them thread the beads onto a paper towel holder like I have here, so they can just put these cardboard tube beads onto the paper towel holder. You can make it fun by making letters on these, so kids who are working on spelling words can spell different words, or you can do math problems by putting numbers and symbols on them. You can also do a fun activity that I've seen before where you draw like a person on the cardboard tube and then you cut it up, and then your child can use the same method to rebuild the person. You can make it kind of crazy too. Use multiple characters, let them mix and match the pieces. If you don't have a paper towel holder, you could also use maybe like a broom handle or even a large stick that you find outside to have the same effect. So this is great for hand-eye coordination, for kids that are still working on learning to string beads but don't quite have that yet. This is a great skill to work on prior to that. And then I also wanted to mention too with that, I always like to turn these into some kind of a movement activity. So you can spread the pieces all around the room and have your child run and grab them and put them on, maybe see how quickly they can pick them up or something like that, just to give them a little extra activity. And then the last way, number 5, the fifth way that I like to play with these cardboard tubes is to use them for cutting practice. So if you happen to have a small pair of child's scissors that your child can practice cutting with, this is great for kids who are beginning to cut. So one fun way that you can use these tubes is by turning them into a person, and then you or perhaps an older child can fringe the top of it so it looks like hair, and then you can just have your child give this guy a haircut by trimming all of those little pieces. So it's a great way to work on snipping. If your child is past that snipping stage and they're working more on cutting lines, you can use a tube like this and draw a line on it so that they know where to cut. And then on the inside, you can't really see it from here, but I like to hide just a little sticker so that when they're done cutting, they have a fun little surprise on the inside. You could draw something on the inside. You could tape a fun little snack onto the inside so that when they're done cutting, you can see that. So I'll show you what that looks like. Ta-da! There's Elsa. I happen to have an Elsa sticker laying around. So that's a great way to work on cutting practice. It gives a little extra hand strengthening because the cardboard tubes are a little bit thicker than paper. And then when you're done with that, you can turn these into some really fun wristbands, bracelets, superhero bands. Your child can decorate it and then wear it at the end. So that makes kind of a fun, full activity to work on cutting skills and some of those other fine motor skills as they're decorating it. So I hope that gave you some new ideas for all of these cardboard tubes that you can accumulate now that we're all stuck at home. So I hope that gives you some fun ideas for this week. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.